another big Game Pass announcement, and we have confirmation that the Xbox One has been discontinued. Welcome back to another video, guys. You enjoy daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So yesterday there was a big surprise, another big Game Pass, a surprise announcement that I love to see this with Game Pass. We see it a lot, especially last year. If you remember with Outrunners, you remember with MLB The Show and various other announcements throughout the year, just announcements that come out of nowhere that you don't expect, but it's awesome to see, and it just gives us more games to play within Xbox Game Pass. And we got this yesterday coming from IO Interactive saying Hitman Trilogy includes all 3 games from the World Assassination, available digitally on January 20th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and Epic Game Store, as well as Steam and Xbox Game Pass. And as you can see here, they have the picture, and you're going to be able to jump in and play this entire trilogy. Hitman 3 is the latest game in the series. It's a very highly acclaimed game, came out last year, and I've played a bit of it. I think there was like a demo, or you could jump into it or something. I forget what it was. You could play through like the first mission, and I definitely enjoyed my time with it, but I never had the time to really go back and play it again. But now it's available here on Xbox Game Pass, and I'm really excited to jump in. What else is interesting about this announcement is, if we remember back last year, we heard these rumors here from Windows Central and Jez Corden that Project Dragon was a codename game that was going to be published by Xbox, going to be part of the Xbox Global Publishing, and meaning that we were going to be getting this exclusive, I guess, Game Pass Xbox ecosystem game from IO Interactive, and it was going to be a big RPG, a fantasy RPG. It says here, a few months ago, I received information that Microsoft and IO Interactive were in talks for a new fantasy RPG dubbed Project Dragon. While it's too early to share any sort of gameplay details, the final product may look wildly different than the initial pitch. What's on paper thus far sounds incredibly ambitious and represents a completely new direction for IO. And if we go down here to IO Interactive's posting for, I guess, a position, a senior UX designer in a department called Dragon, it says you'd be part of an unannounced AAA project, which is brand new title and concept, where you'd be joining a core team shaping the foundation of our continuous journey. We can't wait to see where you'll take us. This could have been the beginning of starting to strengthen this partnership and this relationship between IO and Xbox, and maybe we will see more announcements like we got with the 3 Hitman games coming over to Xbox Game Pass on January 20th. And this is just exciting. I mean, all 3 of these games are great games, and it just adds more stuff to the list of Xbox Game Pass games. And I said in my video yesterday that I think Xbox is going to keep reaching into their pocket, especially in like the spring months, and we're going to see announcements that come out of nowhere like this. Even if they aren't day one games, this is still a big announcement, I think, for a lot of people, and I think we'll see a lot more of this throughout this entire year as we get these just surprise announcements. And that's one thing I love. I love how none of this is foreshadowed. It's just you wake up one day, you open Twitter, you open news, and you see these awesome announcements and just more games to play within the Xbox ecosystem. Now, also on yesterday's video, I talked about the PlayStation 4 and how PlayStation was going to continue to make PlayStation 4s throughout 2022, and one of the big reasons they have to do this is because of what's going on in the world with the chip shortages and all that type of stuff, but also because of their strategy and what they do with PlayStation 5, where they lock you into that console. You need a PS5 to play a lot of the PlayStation games. Now with Xbox, they don't need to worry about that because they have their ecosystem, obviously, so you can play Xbox games on various platforms. If there is a chip shortage that lasts another 3 or 4 years, they're still going to be able to have customers come into the ecosystem and play their first party games. And for that reason, they don't need to focus anymore on making Xbox Ones further on within this generation. Now, this was first reported by The Verge, and it says here that at the end of 2020, they stopped producing Xbox Ones, and they say here to focus on production of Xbox Series X and S. We stopped production for all Xbox One consoles by the end of 2020, which obviously is a vastly different approach to this generation of gaming. And this really isn't a normal thing, I would say, because if we look at previous generations, like we look at the Xbox 360, we go down here, this is Wikipedia, so you know, maybe somebody edited it and changed it, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. It says here that it was discontinued in 2016, and right here, April 20th, 2016. And this is 2 years about or so, like give or take a couple months after the Xbox One was released. And that's generally what happens with these console generations. They don't just stop manufacturing consoles right when the new one comes out, because not everyone goes out and buys the new one. They wait until they go on sale. Some people don't buy the next gen console. Like some people may not buy a Series X or a Series S for another couple of years, but they continue to produce their older ones for a couple of years after the release of the new ones. And then we look here at the PS3, and it's the same thing. They stopped producing in North America the PS3 October 2016. So they're continuing to produce these consoles 2 years after their release isn't an abnormal thing, but the big difference this time is just you see the difference in the strategy and the advantage of having that open ecosystem where you aren't locking people into your console gives you as a company. And then on top of that, the advantage of having those two SKUs, so they can still get people who may not want to spend $500 right away on a new console, but are willing to spend $300 because they would have waited until that $500 console dropped $200 before jumping in. But now they don't have to right at the beginning of this generation because they have that secondary option. That's it for me, guys. I hope everyone had a great week. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching the videos. Tell me what you think about Hitman and the trilogy coming onto Game Pass. Are you going to be checking out these games? Are you going to be playing all 3 of them? And what do you think about the difference in strategies and the Sony still producing the PlayStation 4 throughout 2022? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. You're new here, you like what you saw throughout this video, I would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Help this channel grow, help grow this community. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.